Welcome back to another episode of the Hallelujah Gardening Guide. My name's George Malcolmus, founder of Hallelujah Acres. And we're going to pick up here today where we left off last week. We're going to take the various methods of gardening and we're going to show you how to prepare the soil in each one of those methods. And I trust that you are already thinking about or getting started on preparing a garden for yourself. Let's take a look at how to prepare your soil for gardening. In episode number 1, we showed you some collards that were left over from last fall. Well, this bed that I'm standing in front of was full of collards also this past fall, and we utilized through the winter. But in preparation for the spring garden, I have taken all of those collards out. I have spread about 4 inches of horse manure upon this bed. Then I have a Honda tiller that is small enough that I can lift up and put into this bed, and I have tilled in that horse manure, and now we are ready to plant our spring garden. And you can see how friable the soil is and how we have got it so that you can actually work it with your hands. This is the stage, this is the place you want to get your soil in if you want to have excellent garden. And it's not that hard. We just need to start with the best soil we can get, and then each year add about 4 inches of horse manure. Usually you can find a horse barn someplace near you, and they'll oftentimes just give it away. We put it on the garden about 4 inches deep, and then we can work it in with a shovel. But I do have a little Honda tiller that I use and actually get up into the bed and till it under with that. It really makes it so nice and easy to work with. So that's for the raised bed gardening. And what I want to show you next is how to prepare the soil for container gardens. Now, here I have a spinach container. We've already consumed all the spinach was in it and put it into our smoothies. And I have a large pot. I'll just use one of these today. Now, because my soil is so good and has so much organic matter in, I could take this and use this to fill up these beds, these planters rather. But for you folks at home, you don't have access to what I have in most instances. So I've gone to Lowe's or Home Depot or a gardening supply store, and I've bought some already prepared planting mix. This is excellent material. It is very friable, and with this it's all ready to just take and place into your container. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to take and we're going to fill this. See how dark, and it's very friable. It's got a lot of organic material in it. And in our next segment, we're going to plant some radishes in this little container. This one here, I'm going to fill up with this planting mix, and I'm going to, in our next segment, show you how to grow herbs in a container and right on your patio, on your porch, or whatever you might have available. And look at how black and how loose and friable that is. Now, the open garden, which we looked at in the first segment, that is something that really takes a lot of work, especially if you're starting with the lawn. First, you have to take the sod off. You just cannot leave the sod on or you will have a lot of problems. So you have to shovel the sod off, and then we need to build up the organic matter. If you're in sand, you're not going to get a good crop unless you really change the composition of that sand. If you're in heavy clay, you're not going to have a good garden. And so the best way to prepare an open bed garden is to get as much organic matter as you can. Leaves that have broken down into mulch, or the horse manure that I use here, and then you spread it, and then you'd have to turn it over. Usually an open bed garden is very difficult to work with a shovel, and so you really need some kind of tiller that will turn it over for you. Takes years, really, years and years and years to get your soil into this state. And yet I've done it here in my raised bed in less than a year. So that's a little bit about how we prepare the soil in our raised bed, in our containers, in our open ground. And now for the next segment, we're going to talk about how to plant into this prepared soil.
You haven't been properly introduced to the Hallelujah Diet until you've heard about it in person from Reverend George Malkmus. Join us at the God's Way to Ultimate Health Seminar, held the first Saturday of every month here at Hallelujah Acres. Admission is free, and there's no registration required.
I'm Willie, and this is another quick tip from Hallelujah Acres. I've got a Space Master cucumber that's got a short vine, but you can also plant long vining types in here. I'm putting it in a hanging basket so that I can hang it on my porch or patio. And that's just another quick tip from Hallelujah Acres. Back to you, George.
Do you know someone with gluten intolerance or celiac disease? Do we have a recipe book for you? Introducing Gluten-Free Resolutions, a brand new ebook packed with plant-based gluten-free recipes suitable for the Hallelujah Diet. Ask our customer service team how you can download a copy of Gluten-Free Resolutions recipe ebook.
All right, so now you've seen in this segment how to prepare the soil for the various types of gardening that you're going to do, whether it be open ground, raised bed, or container. And so that's it for this week. And next week, we're going to talk about how to plant seed into this soil that we have just prepared. So thank you so much. We'll see you next week.